Hajia Mariama was a princess of Sarba under the Pasinka traditional authority and the wife of the late Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia, chief of Periga, paramount chief of Periga. Mami was the seventh of 8 children of their mother and father. There were 4 males and four females. All the males died at infancy, leaving 4 sons. Father had to be convinced to allow her to go to school, and he reluctantly did so. Her classmates at the time included now Professor John Sebiam Nabila, Wulgunaba, and Po Mbarijerisi, who later became the traditional queen mother of Pasinka, and the late Dunaba, Mr. Bennett Danwabani. Mami took to school like a duck to water. She loved school and tried to read all material she could lay her hands on in those days. She was a brilliant student and was one of the best in her class. Through her hard work, Mami gained admission to the Tamale Girls Middle School, where she passed the common entrance examination with very high marks to gain admission to the famous Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast in 1956. With a scholarship from the Mampusi District Council. This was no small feat for a girl from the north in those days. She was in Waldron House, and her classmates included Nancy Thompson, Dr. Agnes Abraham Ni Andam, Professor Elizabeth Adefio Shandorf, Dr. Cecilia Benchi Ni Eisen, Rebecca DeGraff Johnson Ni Apia, Dr. Grace Mercer Ni Henson, Dr. Matilda Papo, Nana Chewa II, Ni Eva Amwa, all of the class of 1960. Mami had many fond memories of Wesley Girls High School. During her period at Wesley Girls High School, Mami developed a friendship with a young and rising politician, Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia of blessed memory. They fell in love, and Mr. Bawumia asked for her hand in marriage from her parents. However, Mami was a Christian at this time, having been born Susanna Bani Sulemana. She converted from Christianity to Islam when she married the late Alhaji Bawumia and adopted the name Mariama. She was a committed Muslim till the good Lord called her to eternity. Mami therefore always advocated tolerance and understanding between Islam and Christianity, always insisted that we serve the same God. We worship the same God. The marriage between the late Alhaji Bawumia and Hajia Mariama Bawumia produced 6 children, namely Abdullah Baba Bawumia, Mahamudu Bawumia, Fatih Bawumia deceased, Musa Bawumia, Abraham Bawumia, and Yakubu Bawumia. Through marriage, Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia's children also became her children. They were Salfu Bawumia deceased, Suleimana Bawumia, Salamatu Bawumia, Seidu Bawumia, Fatih Bawumia deceased, Dauda Mandia Bawumia Pilna, Azimi Bawumia, Ramatu Bawumia, Bawa Bawumia, Abubakar Bawumia, Al-Hassan Bawumia, Sumani Bawumia, Awabu Bawumia, Memunatu Bawumia, and Adam Bawumia deceased. She mothered so many children in her life, hence the name Mami. Mami worked tirelessly to keep the family together and did not discriminate between her biological children and other children. She was also loved by her nieces, nephews, siblings, grandchildren, and family friends. She was a devoted housewife and mother and stayed loyal to her husband, Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia, who was the Kilna paramount chief of Pirga at the time of his death on 22nd September 2002. After the 1966 coup, Mami traveled to the United Kingdom to support her husband, who had gone to study law. Whilst in the United Kingdom, Mami took advantage of the opportunities available to study fashion and dressmaking. Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia was called to the English bar in 1970, and after which they returned to Ghana in August 1970. They settled in Tamale, where Hajia Bawumia set up his private law office. In 1988, Mami traveled outside Ghana to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with Hajia Mariama Bawumia, who had been appointed Ghana's ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They returned to Ghana in 1991, where she continued to devote herself to her husband. Upon their return, Hajia Mariama Bawumia was elected a Northern Regional Representative of the Council of State in 1993 and subsequently elected Chairman of the Council of State from 1993 to 2000. The late Hajia Mariama Bawumia, aka Mami, continued to support her husband and remained devoted to him until the end of his tenure of office in January 2001. On 8th January 2001, the late Hajia Mariama Bawumia moved from Accra with her husband back to Pilga to serve in a traditional capacity, since Hajia Mariama Bawumia was a Pilna, the paramount chief of Pilga. She continued to live in Pilga for 19 years after the demise of her husband. Since her beloved husband was buried in Pilga, Mami said she could not leave him alone and would stay with him until she also died. January 2001, the late Mami, having been married to a politician, had to learn and from onset. The skill gained guided her life to the end. Very little did she know that the demise of her beloved husband, that her son Mahmudu will emerge in the wings to pick up the political mantle. All her experience observing politics was brought to bear in her support for Mahmudu Bawumia when he became the running mate to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo from 2008. She saw herself as the unofficial campaign manager for her son's campaign and would listen to political programs on the radio and TV all the time to know what was going on and give her advice. All her efforts paid off when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was elected president in 2016. She cried the day 7 January 2017, Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia was first sworn in as the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. They were tears of joy. She said that my sacrifices in life have been worth it, and only regretted that her husband, Hajia Bawumia, was not alive to see that day. Hajia Mami was a pillar in the family, and her strength guided the family as a whole. She was called to eternity.
We are doing it. It's almost finished. So carry on. We are almost there. Yes, we are almost there.
On 13 September 2021, after a brief illness. The late Hajia Mariama is survived by 5 biological children, 12 children by marriage, 12 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. May Allah grant her Jannatul Firdaus. Amen.
Takbir. Thank you very much for reading the biography of your mother, Abdullahi Bawumia, also known as Baba. We are grateful to you. At this point, we will invite a young lady, Saliha, the poet, to give us some spoken word. Saliha. Yes, there she comes.
Oman Penyin, Nana Ado Dankwa Akufu Ado, Memawo Akwaba, Maraba. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Woi. Nadima Yagafara Nsuhurunori. National Chief Imam, Nalimam Demzabambekpa. Annagniya assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Wai, Yawumia. Mamprugu Yawumia. Ghana Yawumia. Kasincha nabi puganga vuaya. Kerana pa Hajia Mariama Bawumia. Donia. The mother of His Excellency, the Vice President of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, chose dunia. Indeed, to everything in life, there is time. A time to be born and a time to die. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the joy, the excitement, the amusement upon the arrival of this amazing child on the 15th day of September, 1939? Mamprusiyelia Bela Wanenzura. Mr. and Mrs. Mbasara Napuze, the proud parents of Hajia Mariama Bawumia, couldn't stop thanking God enough. But see, now the shada over that brain. Oh yeah, Nkasi abutal kakre. In pain, I remember September 13th. As I say sadly, the sudden demise of a servant of God and humanity. With a cry of making a loud sound, I mourn a woman with integrity, a woman with dignity and sincerity. Even after returning from Mecca, she was still referred to as Mommy. Children called her Mommy. Adults called her Mommy. Men and women called her Mommy. Mommy because she was a mother for all. What a great loss. But no, wipe your tears, for a life well lived deserves celebration. So I rise up with passion, even though in pain. I celebrate a fallen heroine. Mommy, I celebrate your smartness, diligence, excellence, and intelligence. With passion, I celebrate a pioneer of the Pacinta School of 1947 and a classmate of Nabugansa, Professor Nabila Sebiam, Chief of Pacinta Traditional Area. I rise up to celebrate the first Northern lady to have gained scholarship to study at the Wesley Girls Senior High School. A woman with irresistible beauty. No wonder her own former teacher, a great Ghanaian politician, a northern political pioneer, Dokulia Kauyuri Kukuli, the late Perna Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia, couldn't resist this beauty. With a great gratitude, we, the people of Mamprugu, celebrate Hajia Mariama Bawumia, for she went into labor to do us a favor. She gave birth to a light that lighted the entire land. She nurtured a northern pride, and this pride is priceless. The lives of these strong, inspiring 5 gentlemen has impacted many lives in Mamprugu, the north, and the whole Ghana at large. Lawyer Abdullahi Bawumia, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Mr. Musa Bawumia, Mr. Ibrahim Bawumia and Mr. Yakubu Bawumia. Wipe your tears, for he who rides on an elephant, his feet does not drag on the ground. Nirwambaru wabgu ugbayabu vuritsinga. Obia atino sinechirno ninan into form. And every step the elephant takes, it's a step to victory. Hajia Mariama Bawumia, rest in perfect peace. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Thank you, Madam Asi. Mpusia, nagode, when you are done.
Thank you very much, Saliha, the poet. Saliha currently paying homage to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give it up for again for Saliha, the poet. Thank you very much. We are done with the biography. We'll now turn our attention to the tribute. And the children of Mami, Hajia Mariama Bawumia, have elected their youngest to read the tribute on their behalf. He is Yakubu Bawumia, the last born of Hajia Mariama Bawumia. He will now step forward to read the tribute. Ladies and gentlemen, even as we mourn with the family, shall we acknowledge Yakubu Bawumia with a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And the entire family are coming together with Yakubu.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency, the First Lady, His Eminence, the National Chief Imam, eminent clergy, the Chief of Staff, Ministers of State, members of the Council of State, the eminent chiefs, members of the Diplomatic Corps, government officials, invited guests, all protocols observed. It is a tribute by the children. It is still quite surreal to think that our mother, Hajia Mariama Bawumia, who we, as well as everyone called Mami, is no more with us. Growing up, she was the permanent fixture at home, because our dad, Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia, would travel quite a lot because of work and politics. Our father had a total of 19 children, but it was difficult for any outsider to be able to tell who amongst us were her biological children. She treated us all the same. Mami was very kind at heart and had a good sense of humor. She therefore got on very well with many people. She was very tolerant and empathetic and would give away most of the money we gave her to other people who she said needed the money more than her. Indeed, Mami had a very simple disposition in life and was not materialistic. She was satisfied with very little. Mami was, however, a bona fide hoarder. She hated to throw things away. In the 1970s, during the military regime, our brother Abraham was upset with her because she had not given him some canned sardines he wanted. and threatened he was going to tell the soldiers that my mother is a hoarder. Mommy had a good laugh and asked him where he will get food to eat if the soldiers took her away. Anyway, Abraham still did not get his sardines. Mommy encouraged us to take education seriously. She kept reminding us that is all my father and her could give us in life, and we should not expect anything from them beyond that. She had a brilliant mind and was very well read and helped us so much in primary school especially. My father was a disciplinarian. Behind his back, we called him Sarge because of the military-like way he handled us. Mommy was the opposite. She was the one you would go to complain and ask for things. We ran to her for comfort. She would always agree with our dad's directives and expectations, but in a very nice and loving way. We remember with fondness Mommy's black bag when we were growing up. She usually had some money in this bag and always had it in her sight, and we knew that. We used to tease her so much about it. And when we asked her for money, she would say, Mommy farakpa, meaning Mommy is a poor woman. But if the need was real, she would open the black bag and give us some money to our delight. Our sister Fati died at 4 years old. At the time, Mommy and our dad were in London, where he was studying law. She tried to have another girl, but it was not to be. When they returned from London and we went to meet Mommy, when we went to meet them, Mommy started crying because Fati was not amongst us. She missed Fati a lot. Mommy's love and commitment to our dad was total. She was devoted to him and made sure he had peace of mind for his work. It was nice to watch their devotion to one another. They could not stand being apart. When our father bought a Mercedes-Benz car, he are buried in Periga. She said she did not want to be apart from him. So she continued to stay in Periga for the following 19 years. Today, she's buried next to him, and we are sure they are together again in the hereafter. As children, we felt sick often, and Mommy, after many hospital visits, came to believe that she could also diagnose and prescribe medications for us. Her go-to remedy for many ailments was, you need a purgative. So, Mommy. As we grew older, Mommy continued to be supportive and a source of very wise counsel. She was usually right in her assessment of issues. Mommy was an avid sports fan, a die-hard Liverpool supporter who hated to see Liverpool lose. She was also a tennis fan, with Rafael Nadal as her favorite tennis player. When matches got tense, she would go and stay in her room because she could not bear to watch. There was a match in which Roger Federer beat Nadal, and Mommy's response was that Federer is too greedy in wanting to win every match. She was a wrestling fan too. Mommy was very close to her siblings and relatives, most of whom were in passing care. She felt a responsibility towards them and always wanted to be sure they were okay. She was closest to her only surviving sister, Hajia Zainabu Abudu Sugla. Mommy lived a very fulfilled life. She was blessed with good health and was hardly sick. The short period of her illness at the end was the only time she had been admitted in hospital. At the hospital in her last days, all of us went to see her. And when she saw us, she uttered the words, "I'm happy. I'm happy." Mom, and a devoted Muslim. She prayed religiously every day. She was kind, caring, and a loving mother. We could not have wished for a better mother. Mommy, we love you so much. We will miss you forever. Please continue to look over us. May Allah grant you Jannatul Firdaus, Amen, from all your children.
Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give it up for the children of Hajia Mariama Bawumia? I think they deserve a bigger and louder applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. And thank you to Yakubu for doing this on behalf of your other senior siblings. Without much ado, we'll now hear the tribute of the overlord of the Mamprugu traditional area, the Nairi Naabohogu Mahami Abdullahi Sherigo. His representative will read the tribute on his behalf. So the representative of the Nairi, Naabohogu Mahami Abdullahi Sheriga, please step forward and give us the rendition of the tribute. Ladies and gentlemen, let's acknowledge the representative of the Nairi as he steps forward to deliver the speech that has been written on behalf of the Nairi. Shall we give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
Mba tarana, mba masu, mba sakpare, mba yiyorana, mba bumpurnaba, bani zani ka batara karam tuduma kukwarba ntese. Mba bandan beni, mishura tumu beni, ntepase ankara mampusnaba.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Rebecca Addo, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Your Excellency, the Second Lady, all protocol observed. Before I read the tribute, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Nairi to welcome the President of the Republic to the land of Mamprugu. We are very grateful that he found time to come and celebrate the life of Hajia Mariama with us. I read the tribute of the Nairi Naabohogu Mahami Abdullahi Sheriga. The sharp and penetrating shrill of a tiny little voice announced the coming of a journey onto the world. For nearly 82 years, she brought joy and happiness unto mankind. Hajia Mariama was born on 15th September 1939 to Suleimana Puzim and Memuna Kamalugu of blessed memory. She, among others, were the pioneers of Passenger LA Primary School. She pursued academic laurels and got enrolled in Tamale Girls School and subsequently Wellesley Girls in Cape Coast for her secondary education in 1956. She was among the few in her age to brave the odds and challenges that face the education of girls at her time. Hajia Mariama got married to the late Kena Alaji Mumuni Bawumia, a teacher, a lawyer, a politician, and a traditional ruler. This marital union was certainly destined to be a blessing to Mamprugu, Ghana, and the world at large. She is survived by 5 children who individually have paid their dues and continue to pay their dues to the land of their birth. We were in a state of wilderness until she brought forth priceless jewels to salvage us. Mami, as we affectionately called her, was my beloved wife by custom. But life, as they say, is a pendulum. I am here today to pay tribute to my mother, not a wife. This is right so because in the infinite wisdom was exalted and elevated her to the good of all mankind. In the face of this obvious reality, I join the world to bid farewell to my beloved mother. Mami, your passing struck me with a shock and my heart full of agony. My source of joy, hope, and excitement dimmed and darkness took over. I take solace in the fact that your sweet memory shall linger on until the end of time. The huge numbers witnessed today is a testimony that, Mami, you touched the lives of many. Fare thee well until we meet in heaven. Naune Zomi Nambu.
Thank you, First Elder of the Nairi and all the paramount chiefs and divisional chiefs who have come to support you. Honorable Regional Minister for Northeast, thank you for supporting your people. We have the Northeast Regional House of Chiefs Registrar also with us. Thank you, Tepusha.
Thank you very much, representative of the Nairi, for reading the tribute on behalf of the Nairi. We are grateful to you. Next will be the tribute by the party, the NPP, in memory of Hajia Mariama Bawumia. And this tribute, of course, will be delivered by the General Secretary of the NPP, Mr. John Boedu. Let's welcome Mr. John Boedu with a round of applause. Yes, sir.
Thank you. How are you?
Thank you.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and spouse, His Excellency, the Vice President and spouse, the eminent Chief Imam and his elders, chiefs, ministers of states, government appointees, MPs, CEOs of government institutions gathered here, the national, regional, constituency,